This is the judgment standard of the true God, the standard of God's own judgment. I know whenever I call this name, many people might be thinking that is maybe it's just like the church that has, just like the churches has their names, different physical churches has their own different name, Thunder of the God Mission, this thing, God is on Fire Mission, Miracle Ministry, Signs and Wonder, Church of All Nations. All these are the things. They normally think that this word, the judgment standard of the true God, is maybe just like having a physical church name. No. This is as a result of the word or the gospel you have heard, you have been hearing from here. This gospel you have been hearing from here is the judgment standard, the judgment standard of every soul. We are not trying to brag and boast. God was the one that instructed us to go by this name, not any man. And this is the reason why he has done that. Now, many people have been thinking that when you talk about judgment, they always think that they will appear before God, maybe, when they died or whatever, they appear before God and God will start judging them one after the other. You did this one, you did that one. No, that is not it. Your judgment is here. The Spirit of truth comes to judge. So this gospel is the gospel of truth through the Spirit of truth. If you have been following this particular platform, or rather the teachings, you will know that we have treated the characteristics or the features of the gospel of truth or the truth. So, and sorting is one, it judges, it sorts a man. What are we talking about? It separates the chaff from the wheat, or rather, the wheat from the tares. He separates the chaff from the corn. He separates the real thing from the fake. So this is what this particular gospel does. In case this is the first time you're joining this class, please endeavor to visit our previous videos. None of these videos or our topics or our teaching stand in isolation. No, they are interconnected. They are networked together. The reason is because there's only one mission of God for every soul that seeks eternal life. There's only one aims and objectives, goals and targets. There's only but one purpose of God. And that is why Jesus Christ said that one thing is needful. And what is that needful? One thing that is needful? Sonship. God in his fullness in a man. That's the only one thing that you can ever desire and need. Yes, because when this happens, you need nothing anymore. Yes, when you are carrying the Creator in and within and upon and round about you, you are now transformed into the full nature, stature and structure of the Creator. What again do you think you'll be needing? You see what we are saying? So going forward, the judgment is not standing on the straight line or whatever, and you'll be judged one after the other. No, it depends. It is based on the spirit that is inside of you. Yes, because the judgment is based on the spirit. If it is the spirit of righteousness, then you will not, which means Christ. If it is Christ, then you will not be judged, because there is no way God is being judged. God cannot be judged. So when you have God, you will no longer be judged. But when you do not have God, you have any other spirits, which is the devil, maybe through the spirit of lies, maybe through the spirit of fornication, through the spirit of malice, through the spirit of anger, or whatever, the spirit of evil imagination, the spirit of instabilities, and whatever. So through all these spirits, so all these spirits are branches of the woman of sins, or the properties or debris of the devil. So now when you have any of them, or each and or some of them, you have already been judged. The reason is because the prince of this world is already judged, which is the tree that have all these branches has already been judged. So since you have each branch, you have already judged. That is your judgment. That spirit in you has already become your judgment and your condemnation. Yes, because they have been judged and condemned. So if any of this spirit dwelleth in you, so the judgment is based on the spirit in you. So if it is Christ, then Christ must be in full. But if it is in part, then you will still be judged. The reason is because even the little you have will be taken away. And what happened? The devil will take hold of you. So judgment is certain. So your judgment is based on the spirit that possesses you. So the spirit that possesses you is your judgment. If it is Christ, you will not be judged. But if it is another spirit outside Christ, you have been judged already. Okay? So this is why we are here. That Christ has been trying to let you know the standard of his judgment. Okay? Through this teaching. So now going forward, we have been treating the spiritual interpretation of the Bible. So we are on we started from Matthew chapter 1 anyway. So we are in chapter 5 right now. Okay, we are in chapter 5 right now. Chapter 5:20. I think we have done that yesterday, but let's just paraphrase on it. He said, "For I say unto you, that except your righteousness shall exceed the righteousness of the scribes and Pharisees, ye shall in no case enter into the kingdom." You see, so we have discussed this. So except, so it's a must. So it's compulsory. It's compulsory that your righteousness must exceed that of the scribes and Pharisees. No, wait. Don't think Christ is talking about the scribes and Pharisees of those days. No, he wasn't talking to the people of Israel. We have told you that there is physical Israelite and there are spiritual Israelite. So now, if you want to be, or if you want to be like God, so if you want to make it to eternal life, so this is what God said: your righteousness must exceed those that teaches you in your various churches, in your pastors. Because at this particular generation, dispensation and era, who is representing the Pharisees, the teachers of the law? Now it is now the teachers of grace, the so-called past effort a man apply, price paid, sacrifice rendered to do